Those little boys and girls are counting on us.
All of this is for the children.
For the children.
For the children.
Oh, the devil's in the details, Bev.
That's not the only place he is.
As you all know.
Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be my Wandavision Mephisto video. There have been a lot of Mephisto Easter eggs. The devil is in the details, and that's not the only place that he is. So if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. I'm doing videos for all the Wandavision episodes, and we're doing a Disney Plus giveaway for memberships. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave your favorite Mephisto reference or devil reference on the video. Careful for spoilers. If you have not seen any of the episodes yet, we'll be talking about everything that's happened so far and some really old Easter eggs from back in Marvel Phase 1 referencing Mephisto. There have been many Mephisto Easter eggs on WandaVision so far, in the MCU in general, even in some of the other Marvel Phase 4 series like Falcon and Winter Soldier and the Loki trailer. The reason why Mephisto is getting so much attention right now on WandaVision is because he's such a big part of her backstory with the twin children, Billy and Tommy, Wiccan and Speed, and they're doing that story on the show. Mephisto is also a big Marvel villain that both Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange share in common, and WandaVision will cross over with Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness in addition to Spider-Man 3 and a bunch of other stuff, so everyone's just wondering if Mephisto, the actual character, will show up during WandaVision. So we'll start with the WandaVision Mephisto Easter eggs, then I'll talk about the older ones and some of the ones in the other Marvel Phase 4 trailer videos, like Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki. Because, for instance, the older Marvel Phase 1 references were for a Mephisto storyline that Kevin Feige swerved on and wound up changing. Their plans for Mephisto in the MCU just in general changed a long time ago, but they're still really cool Easter eggs. The first big one on WandaVision is actually the Iron Man Stark Industries Toastmaster 2000 commercial. If you rewatch the commercial and you flip the frame upside down, you notice on the first toaster, the regular one, the symbol is actually the numbers 666, the mark of the beast, the mark of the devil. Then during WandaVision Episode 2, that's where they really crank up the references. Agatha Harkness keeps referring to her mystery husband, Ralph, like he's a terrible person and she can't stand him. The name Ralph also translates to famous wolf in Norse mythology, similar to the language the Asgardians, Thor, normally speaks. Ralph is also the name of one of the villain characters during Lord of the Flies. His character represents evil. During Lord of the Flies, a group of children get marooned on a remote island and have to survive, cut off from the regular world. During WandaVision, everyone inside the alternate reality, the TV-based reality, are cut off from the normal MCU universe and they keep talking about children, chanting in unison about children. When you notice that there are no children anywhere in the town until Scarlet Witch gets pregnant at the end of the episode.
Those little boys and girls are counting on us.
All of this is for the children.
For the children.
For the children.
I want to thank you all for coming out to support Westview Elementary for the children.
For the children.
Totally not creepy when they all chant in unison multiple times during the episode like that, but she also tells Scarlet Witch to bring Ralph out of the magic box, the one with the graphic of the Infinity Stone on it that's meant to be a representation of Vision's origin story in the box that Ultron created him in. As if Agatha Harkness is implying that the reason why we haven't seen Ralph yet, she only just mentions him and he's off screen somewhere, is because he can't enter this alternate dimension yet. And Agatha Harkness is trying to manipulate Scarlet Witch into helping Ralph, Mephisto, Nightmare, whoever he might wind up being, enter the main MCU reality, and they're using this alternate reality scenario to do that. Also, the bunny that Agatha Harkness brings with her during the beginning of the episode, and then you later see pop up during the magic show, she gives it to Scarlet Witch. She says his name is Senior Scratchy. Nicholas Scratch is the name of Mephisto the devil uses during the short story The Devil and Daniel Webster, which bears some similarities to what's happening during the WandaVision series. You may remember The Simpsons did a parody of this a long time ago during Treehouse of Horror. It was the Homer Simpson Soul Donut episode. It plays out like the original Devil versus Daniel Webster storyline. During that storyline, the devil comes to a person named Mr. Stone and gives him 7 years of prosperity in exchange for his soul, and when he comes back to collect, Stone bargains for an extra 3 years extension. After the 3 years, the devil comes back to collect finally and refuses to give more extensions, but Daniel Webster comes along and offers to help Mr. Stone get out of the contract by fighting the devil in court. Through a lot of speechifying and legal magic work, Daniel Webster winds up beating the devil in court, using a little bit of trickery. On WandaVision, this could just be a metaphor for the way Scarlet Witch was able to create this alternate reality to give her this time of prosperity with Vision, bring him back to life exactly the way she remembers him, have the family she always wanted, making a deal with the devil, so to speak, to make this happen. And then later, maybe she tries to get out of the deal and keep Vision and her twin children. But I'm only expecting some surface level references and similarities. It's not meant to be an exact copy of that storyline. But the fact that Agatha Harkness herself keeps making direct references to the devil is in the details, and that's not the only place he is, also implies that she's somehow connected to that entity. And also, when Dottie said that, the devil is in the details, you may not remember if you didn't watch the show, but this actress also played a demon on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, just another connection to Mephisto, the devil, but also another callback to the bunny. She was afraid of bunnies on that TV show. So I think that's just meant to be a really meta reference to all these different things, including Mephisto. The other big Marvel Phase 4 Mephisto Easter eggs in the Loki trailer are in that stained glass window. There's this depiction of the devil in this church that is made to look just like comic book Mephisto, page to screen. It could just be more evidence that he exists in the MCU. Because it seems like the Time Variance Authority, this organization that Loki is working with here, just has a broader understanding of reality in general in the multiverse. And I think a lot of us are also expecting to see teasers for the main villain of Doctor Strange 2 during WandaVision, and who better than someone like Mephisto or Nightmare? Nightmare was the previously rumored villain of Doctor Strange 2 when Scott Derrickson was still directing the movie. Now that Sam Raimi is directing it, they could have changed that just a little bit. Nightmare's powers are just a little bit different from Mephisto, but you could also explain how Nightmare could be the person they're referring to when they keep talking about Ralph and the Devil. But there's also another Easter egg during the Falcon and Winter Soldier episodes. It doesn't show up in the trailer footage. It actually shows up in footage of them filming for scenes that are going to take place in Madripoor, which is a big X-Men location. And obviously Scarlet Witch, big connection to the X-Men characters. You have this biker gang here that eventually Falcon and Winter Soldier are going to fight with. The symbol on the backs of all their jackets is the face of the devil, just another reference to Mephisto. Even though Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be a more straight-up action MCU series, like a more traditional big Marvel comic book event like you would expect. Most of the stuff they're going for on that series is the Weapons Plus, the Super Soldier program that kind of leads to Weapon X, so it's also tied to future X-Men stuff, Wolverine, Weapon X, so even though Falcon and Winter Soldier themselves aren't that related to X-Men characters, don't cross over with them that much during the comics, they are still using that series to set up big future Marvel Phase 4 stuff, just like WandaVision is helping set up mutants and X-Men inside the MCU. I'll talk more about that stuff when we get those Falcon and Winter Soldier episodes later this year in March. But the really cool, older Marvel Phase 1 Mephisto Easter egg that goes back to the first Avengers movie is actually during this scene where Nick Fury is coming to recruit Captain America for the Avengers team when he's pounding the bag. Remember, we saw that during the post-credit scene from the first Captain America movie.
You here with a mission, sir?
I am.
Trying to get me back in the world?
Trying to save it.
Hydra's secret weapon.
He shows up and gives him a file on the Infinity Stones and the Tesseract, and the file also mentions Mephisto directly by name. So the text, if you can't read it here, says, as S.H.I.E.L.D. wished to harness the power of the Tesseract, Mephisto was enlisted to aid them in their efforts. Studying the cube, Mephisto proposed that the Tesseract could be as powerful as the Infinity Stones. So this is a huge revelation. Originally, they had intended for Mephisto to actually be working with S.H.I.E.L.D. on the DL, them literally making a deal with the devil to learn more about the Infinity Stones. So it sounds like Kevin Feige had Mephisto just being a huge part of the Infinity Saga and the Infinity Gauntlet storyline because he is a big character during the comic book version of the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. But as you saw play out during Marvel Phase 2 eventually, Marvel Phase 3, over time, either because of the China Devil issue or some other reasons, they pivoted away from the Mephisto character and changed the storyline. And now if you rewatch the first Avengers movie in this scene on Disney Plus, for example, they've digitally removed Mephisto's name from this dossier, so they've kind of retconned this out. But now it just seems like they brought him back in during Marvel Phase 4 in some way, at least in some form. There will continue to be more Devil and Mephisto references during future WandaVision episodes as part of her storyline with her children, so I'll just point them out as we see them. I'll probably have to do another big Mephisto Easter egg video after episode 9, just because there's going to be so much stuff happening. My full WandaVision episode 3 video is going to post Friday just like normal, so make sure you have alerts turned on for my channel so you don't miss that. And if you didn't see it, Paul Bettany dropped this huge bomb recently. He just said that there was an Avengers Endgame post-credit scene that they wound up having to delete that completely set up what was happening on the WandaVision series. You can click here to watch that post-credit scene, and you can click here for all my other WandaVision Episode 1 and Episode 2 videos. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys tonight.